too many burritos after a while, you could start to see that. Hey you guys, welcome back to the 4th episode of the Infinite Finesse Podcast with Zizi
and Tanita. Your essential dose of mental health, wellness, and overcoming life's obstacles mindfully from a millennial's perspective.
Before you continue, stop what you're doing. Please subscribe, like, comment, or follow on our YouTube channel. If you're listening on our SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, iTunes, anything, just please make sure you subscribe, follow, like, and comment.
Our recap from last week's episode, the 3rd episode of the Infinite Finesse Podcast, we talked about creatives versus 9-to-5ers. Are we able to do both? Do you have to choose one over the other? And we kind of came to the conclusion at least for both of us, that it's just, about balancing, and being able to, find your medium of like doing something over here and just having a little middle ground in between.
Just really finding something. There's really not a one size fits all for any of the things that you want to do in life. I think just being true to yourself on what you truly want to do. If you, as mentioned, if you work in an office job, if you have that creative balance where you can just use that outlet to use as a hobby, or if you are a creative and you're doing it as a career, kudos to you. Just whatever you want to do, just aim towards where you want to be. It doesn't matter if it's an office job or a creative job itself.
Yeah, because I personally think all of us have we do have a little bit of both in us regardless, just naturally.
Exactly. So, how did your previous week went?
My cousin's visiting, he lives here now, his friend's visiting, they came here from Germany, so we've just been kind of hanging out and exploring the city, stuff like that. But besides that, just been working, grinding it out. Yeah. That's it. What about you? How's your week been going?
It's good. Just been crazy. Pretty much it's Mercury retrograde, by the way. If you guys don't know about that, look into it. But just know, don't take anything personally when during the retrograde itself. Just kind of look at it as a learning lesson. But
it's funny because until you mentioned it, I had no idea that it was going on. I'm like, why is everything?
Yeah, basically look into it, you guys. It's just about a lot of things getting misinterpreted, miscommunicated, technology, things like that. So I've been, it's just been overwhelmingly busy, and I mean, it'll pay off later, but yeah, it was good. It's just been really crazy busy, as mentioned, with Mercury retrograde, and either way, I survived. That's all. That's how my week has been going. I'm just glad it's the weekend.
Also, we did want to mention that we did have Valentine's Day, so all of our lovebirds out there, well, it doesn't even have to be lovebirds. Self-love is also love, so everybody out there, we wanted to wish you a happy Valentine's Day, and
happy belated, at least.
Belated Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Happy belated Valentine's Day.
I hope you celebrate it with a bunch of love in your life.
Of course.
Alright, so we kind of wanted to talk about a few updates or just news that happened since the last time we filmed. And one of the big things, of course, was the Kobe Bryant and Pop Smoke death that happened not too long ago, which is completely crazy. We all know what happened with the Kobe situation. He was on a flight with, nine other passengers?
I believe it was a total of 9 of them, 7 other passengers, but by the time we had filmed, obviously that had not happened yet, so we still had added our tribute or our condolences in the description box from our previous episode, but such a huge tragedy. Rest in peace, Kobe, wearing a shirt. But wanted to, like I said, kind of highlight, from the last episode, that everyone's still grieving for the Kobe death. And then if you want to talk about briefly what happened just with
Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
I mean, that was honestly, it was so crazy. and this is just stuff that I've been hearing or read on social media or in the news or what's been happening. But basically, I heard that he was, I don't know if it was like an actual house party, if it was just him with a couple friends, but they rented a house in the Beverly Hills area, and I guess he had took a couple pictures or videos on his live on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and a few of those videos and pictures had the address of the spot in there. So I believe 4 people at like 4 or 4:30 in the morning ran up in the house and shot him. And
so sad. He was only
crazy.
21.
Yeah, 21,
but just
22.
So rest in peace to those who just lost their lives, including
Pop Smoke,
Kobe, and Kobe.
Gigi,
the other lives lost on the passengers, Nipsey, because that year is coming up soon. Just everything. It's an unfortunate situation. But to kind of transition to like what else is still going on, coronavirus is still spreading. According to CBS, there's been about maybe 1,300 deaths and about over 60,000 confirmed cases of the coronavirus. So just please, not even the flu, whichever you have going on, just be cautious about that. Wash your hands. Just kind of make sure you just stay sanitary or sanitated as much as possible.
No, but yeah. I've also been I've been reading new stuff about the coronavirus every day. Like just the last week or 2 weeks ago, there was something about how here in California, I'm not sure if it was Northern California, but they like let somebody they had the coronavirus, but they released them from the hospital and then had to bring them back because I don't know what's going on, but it's just crazy. So be safe out there. Make sure that you just wash your hands as much as possible. Make sure that you just stay healthy. Yeah,
and just be cautious of who you're having encounters with. Just things like that. I mean, I've been reading cases though, like conspiracies on China, but I'm not going to even talk about that. Yeah. But it's just, it's still kind of flu season or sick season, just any time in the winter time. So just be cautious about that, you guys. You don't want to, you want to be healthy and thriving as much as possible. Okay, and as you guys know, the 2020 election is coming up. So if you are registered to vote, please make sure that you take the time to read up on the candidacy or the candidates that are running in play. And if you haven't registered to vote yet, please do so. Make sure you're registered in your state and things like that. But 2020 is that year for the election, so please be prepared.
You don't want to be like,
yeah, I'm not that girl. Okay. National.
All right, so we're filming on a Saturday. Today is February. The February's are so hard for me to say, but today's the 22nd, and it's National Margarita Day. We don't have any margaritas with us, but we'll probably get one at some point tonight. So if you didn't know that, go out, celebrate, have a couple margaritas. Have fun.
Enjoy National Margarita Day.
Alright, so what we wanted to talk about today on the 4th episode is just facing your fears, or just fears in general. I mean, where to begin? How do you face your fears? What are your fears? What are some of the fears you have? And we just kind of wanted to share our point of view and then see what you guys think about it as well. So, what are some of your fears that you have?
So to be honest, my biggest fear is the unknown. I can actually elaborate a lot of, I think because you never really know what's next, I want to always, of course, take control of, where my life is headed. And I mean, I can plan all these goals and just hope for the best, and it turns out like I planned, but that's not always the case. I'm very spiritual in the sense of trusting the process, or I try my best to do that. But I do know that if I don't know what's next, or if I don't have control over it, I think a lot of people can relate to that. That's a big fear of mine, is because I think we incorporated this last time a lot on like having an office job, or not even an office job, just even job. I'll just use that as an example. You can be on your
just something that's consistent.
Yes, yes, you could be consistent, be at a company or be at the top for 50 years, 20 years, and then next thing you know, you're not the next best thing, or you're fired just because of one thing. It's just either way, nothing's consistent, or nothing is ever really promised. So I think it's just always knowing that the unknown, that is a fear of mine, but it's life. Like, I think that's really what life is about, is just facing the unknown. But I mean, we can elaborate a little bit more about that later, but what is your fear?
It's funny because that's also one of my biggest fears, but then it also ties kind of into what you said with like the fear of unknown, but then also having this fear of like not being able to live your life to the fullest potential possible, because I don't know, I always have this fear of like growing old and then being like, oh damn, I wish I would have did that.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like, it's like one of those things where I'm like, because there's so many things that I want to do in my life, and at the same time, then it's like nothing's promised. There's always stuff coming in between.
Exactly.
So much stuff you have to get done at the same time. So it's like, there is kind of a lot of pressure if you think about it, but then it's like, then that's also where alright, just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Chill. You know what I mean? That's where that comes in.
And it's just constantly checking yourself every day about it, is because, like, you know, I think, if I'm wrong and if you guys agree, I think just the unknown is just very scary for everyone, but that's just my biggest fear itself. And I'll add this, but I think this is just too deep or too much to talk about in this episode, like death. I do have a hard time accepting death, just because I think that's the one commonality we all have in common, is that's our ultimate destination. I think the thing of to highlight that, and you know, the things with like the Kobe situation and just the unknown itself, is because it doesn't matter how high of a career you have or how great you are as a person, your next day.
It's inevitable for everyone.
Exactly. Tomorrow is never promised, and that's the whole point of everything tying back to the unknown. And so I think it's just we have to maneuver through it, and it's like I said, I think,
and then not to mention not knowing what happens afterwards. Like,
exactly.
You know, it's like we all kind of have our way. We all kind of think like, okay, this is what happens after we die, but then no one really knows until
you're there. You know? And even with the unknown itself, like, we plan all these goals, and then I want to use an example of, like, let's say that you wanted to, if something is not working out, or something is hitting it off well with someone, like someone that you're dating, or someone, like a great friend, or a girl that you're not, like someone that you're basically close with, or you guys become best friends, you guys can have one incident and it just falls out the next day. Or that person that you're dating, because, you know, you guys maybe aren't in a relationship, or you, or whatever, it could just fall out. Tomorrow's just never promised. That's the whole point of the unknown. And we can plan all these things like we want, but what if we can't even wake up and see the next day? And it's just, that's scary to me, but it's life. I think I've accepted, or I'm still maneuvering and processing that since maybe 24, 25. And I probably heard this term in my early 20s and things like that.
But then it's also, then there's also the other side where there's a little bit of a beauty to it, because then it makes you realize, like, damn, I do actually need to take every single moment and make it, like, go in at 100%.
Of course.
And not just, like, you know.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if am I going to have another moment tomorrow?
Yeah. So, how would you say that you face your fears then, or like with what we kind of discussed, how do you face them?
Honestly, for me, because I feel like in the moment you're always like, oh my god, how am I gonna get through this? Like, I feel so overwhelmed. Anxiety is like up to here. I'm going crazy. But then once the situation passes, you're always like, maybe the situation was bad in the moment, but you also made it so much worse in your head because maybe everything was hitting you at once. So, you know, maybe there was a lot of stuff going on, but it's all about just taking a step back and just like, all right, well, I'm dealing with one thing at a time and just step by step, and then you're like, all right, it wasn't really like the way I deal with it is knowing like I know how to deal with it the next time the situation happens to me. Like I know how to maneuver through it a little better because it's happened to me before. Now I know like what I need to do the next time.
And that's the whole point of why we actually made the podcast itself, is one of the key concepts of why our tagline or why our intro is overcoming life's obstacles mindfully, because at the end of the day, every obstacle that's thrown at you is a lesson. So I think that's our whole point of the podcast, or why we even made this, is that you're going to get through it no matter where you're at. It's just being self-aware and like actually thinking like, instead of what's this, why is this happening to me? What's this trying to tell me? I mean,
exactly.
Hey friend here probably said that, but just these cliches and these little quotes are so realistic. But to answer your question, how do I like face my fears, or just it's constantly realizing, okay, that you fear the unknown, but it's a part of life, and there's a billion of other people out here that are also having that same fear, but where they're not sitting here like trapping yourself in the closet, like, hey, like I can't live life because I'm so scared, I don't know what's gonna happen next. You just have to live your life, and I just keep telling myself tomorrow's never promised, so that's why I just try to stay as present as I can, but still trying to aim towards like my goals of wherever I want to be in life. And I have my personal goals that I still try to make sure, but during the day I want to look back and say, have I accomplished what I need to do, or do I feel satisfied like I did my best that day? So I think the best way, as mentioned, I face my fears, just keep reminding myself that I'm not the only one feeling like this, because that's the commonality in life, is everyone's storyline is different, but we plan for one thing, but we don't know what's gonna happen next. It doesn't matter, like.
And a lot of times that's what the problem is we always kind of feel alone in those situations.
Yeah. And like the expectation of, I brought up the whole incident of, I think when you have like a friend you're getting close with, or even like someone that you're dating, like, and you guys hold each other's words to that, but you don't know like what that person's feeling, or unless like you guys obviously come to terms with that, but it's unknown. That is an unknown situation. Mm-hmm. Nothing is gonna be promised, and I think mine just doesn't apply to like, let's say a person or a friendship in some sort. It's just overall, like I want to know what my life turns out. Like I sometimes question like the universe, or like God, or whatever it could be. Like, can you just tell me what this is? Can you just tell me what this is? Just so I'm not walking into this blindly, but I kind of just realized it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And just what's meant for me won't pass me by. Like I keep telling myself that, and that whole checking myself is what keeps me going, or what really helps.
So just to kind of like tie the segment together, what are some of your fears that you feel like you've overcome already?
I think so. It's crazy because the unknown is still scary, but I really have grown a long way mentally compared to when I was in 2016. And I don't want to put time towards this, but I went through like a very like depressed situation in 2016, 2017, and I just think my mindset wasn't right, because I always just kept trying to figure out, I kept trying to force like things to happen, and force like next events so I can make sure it turned out my way and take control of everything. But I think just because, as I mentioned earlier, I keep checking myself and using these affirmations of, it's not about the destination, it's more about the journey. Trust the process. And then like those constant self-affirmations, like I'm that person where I have something in my, well, not in my room, but like at my apartment, where I have these like affirmations to just constantly check myself of, things are going to be okay, like what's meant for you will not pass you by. And I think that can apply to everybody. But if you're spiritual in some sort, I'm sure you guys, some may agree, may not agree, that's fine. But just me constantly having to have a conversation with myself is where I really, really just check myself. And I think I may not have fully overcome my fear of the unknown and even death per se, but I think I'm growing towards that. And we're not perfect. We're going to have those days where we kind of default back or relapse to that feeling of, this
Yeah, because it's not always, and that's the thing, it's like, it's not always just the up and up, like, it's not a consistent, like, you'll have days where the fear is, you know, a little bit larger than you, to where you can't conquer it today, but as long as you just keep trying and facing it.
Yeah. And relapse can be real, especially if this fear has been going on for a while. Like, how would you say, or how long have you had your fear? Or has it always just been there?
I mean, no, because I don't think I had that fear as a kid.
Okay, yeah,
I don't think I
enjoying
did.
life.
Yeah, I don't really remember a time as a kid. It's more of like when like responsibility started coming in, whenever you kind of like.
That's true, adulting.
Whenever you start, it's not, or not even just that, but just like you're just kind of, you get to a point where as a kid you're just constantly living in the moment. What am I doing right now? And then you get to a point where you start thinking like, oh, but what if, you know, this happens, or what you have like all these what ifs in your head all of a sudden. And I feel like that's when the fear kind of starts coming in. And then, I mean, it kind of could go any direction.
Okay.
It just depends of like, it also depends on what kind of person you are.
That's true.
But, yeah.
What would you say? So would you say you overcame your fear already?
To a certain extent, with my fear of the unknown.
Something work in progress.
Yeah, for sure. Like one thing that I'm very proud of is like just, cause I feel like I have like this kind of two-sided way when it comes to, cause my family is very, very important to me. I like my family. I like my family being around me.
Of course.
But then I also have this like feeling of like, all right, well, but you're young, you want to go explore the world. But it's also very important to have your family around you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do have like this fear of like thinking, oh my God, are we gonna be as close if I'm not here? And like all this stuff. But then at the same time, I am very proud that I kind of don't let that get to me, and I still go and do my thing, like moving out to LA, or even
like,
I moved to a whole different country, like, and my mom did that with 3 kids by herself, like, it's crazy, like, but I mean, that's something I'm very proud of, because I know a lot of people in my life too, where it is a very, very big fear of theirs, to where they don't leave, they never leave.
They stay in the comfort zone.
Yeah,
that's what that is. I think it's just also realizing, I'm sure you guys can agree, it's just in order to really grow is to just be uncomfortable. And I think
it's a weird feeling. Being uncomfortable is a weird feeling, because you're like, I want to get away from this. But those are the times when you discover new shit about yourself. Like you just kind of, you learn more things about yourself. Like, okay, wow, I didn't think I was gonna do it like that. And then you handle the situation a certain way. And I mean, and it's also like, I feel like you have a lot of proud moments during those times, because you're just like, sometimes maybe you didn't know you would handle the situation that way, and you're like, okay, wow, like I did it.
Just to truly grow, I think the key message of the fears is face them, because they're uncomfortable at the end of the day, but be uncomfortable and throw yourself in a situation where you're facing some sort of fear. I think I'm facing my fear every day, because I never know. Like,
and you know who's like, to me, who's like great at facing their fear? Will Smith is like amazing at facing his fear. He's always like, okay, I'm scared of this. All right, let me go towards that.
Exactly.
Instead of running from it.
It's like a high for him or something. No, I love that. Like, I think that's true. That's true. Because as mentioned, if we're not comfortable, if we're going to just be, imagine just 20, 30 years going by and you're just still stuck of wherever you're at. Because I think it's normal. It's okay to be in a comfort zone to an extent. But, I mean, don't you want to see the other measures or what else life can take you when you try other things? Because I think, I'm up front, I overthink a lot of things, or I get in my head a lot, but I'm always just like, what if I would have done this decision? What if I would have, even if I did the what if situation, I'm still going to guess, what if I just stayed home? Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I would have either way, I'm always going to think what if, but I would rather gravitate towards the what if situation that would have made me uncomfortable than just the comfortable or the safety situation that I get. Not in like a life-threatening situation, but just a mental safety of just, instead of, being trapped in my house all day, because I do like to be a homebody at times, but what if I would have went to somewhere in Long Beach that was something I probably wouldn't have done? Like, well, who knows? I would just rather gravitate towards a new experience or experience that will make me uncomfortable, but I'll truly know that, hey, at least I tried. Exactly. Or I could just stay at home, because we can do that anytime. So, yeah.
I agree.
And I think that pretty much does there's anything you want to add. That wraps up our fear conversation. And I think one last thing I completely forgot, which is what we added in the episode title. Something I learned with facing fears in general, not just the unknown, is I forgot who had told me this saying, but false expectations appearing real. That's what fear is. I think that overall is truly how I overcome my fears, but I always just realized fear is just the false expectation. Like, you never know.
You being in your head and thinking of how a situation could turn out before it even happens. That's basically what that is.
And we are our own worst enemies, you guys. Like, so true. But if that helps to help face a fear, just say false expectations appearing real. I just know I've kept saying that to myself many times, along with the other two affirmations I follow. But yeah,
and let us know, like, what are some of your fears? How do you help overcome them? We also want to know, like, what are some of your fears that you've already overcome? I'm very interested to know that. So definitely leave that in the comments below. Let's have the conversation.
So if you guys kind of hear some background noises, excuse the thumping and whatever is going on, because it's hailing outside. So we want to go ahead and start our music segment. So first and foremost, Tanita, what are you listening to nowadays?
Well, right now I'm kind of like in the, party music type of vibe. So right now I'm listening to a guy named Lux K. And he has a tape out called Yellow Tape. He has an album out called Yellow Tape. And the song is called Dough. And yeah, let me play a little bit of it. Let me go in. Just let me repeat. His name is Lux K. The album is called Yellow Tape, and that song is called Dough. And what's your favorite? What's your favorite song right now?
So I'm listening to Brent Faiyaz, Clouded. So good. But he did just recently come out with a new album. But for that particular song, I love Clouded. But I have been listening to that on repeat, and I'm gonna add a little commentary about Brent Faiyaz, which whoever likes him may or may not agree, but I'll go ahead and play it really quick.
I probably do.
Yeah. And it's only a minute and a half, not even a short song, but I just love it. It's a different sound than what he usually does, but to kind of quickly add, I do like Brent Faiyaz's new album. I love his music. But I have a thing where I feel like if I play all of his tracks into like one project, like back to back, it all sounds the same. That's how I felt with Sir's album, but I love Chasing Summers and all his other stuff, but I had to listen to them individually. I think I like Clouded just because the production was a little different, because I'll be upfront, Brent Faiyaz's music can sound depressing sometimes, because it's just it all sounds the same, but I still like his albums, and I still like him in features and just even that song. But I feel like this one is because it's a whole different track.
Also, I feel like, I've read this on Twitter, but I agree with it as well. He has like a lot of like F-boy vibes in his music. It's very much like, very toxic behavior.
Yeah, that's also, I mean, I don't know.
We love Brent Faiyaz.
Yeah, we do.
We love his music.
I just don't condone that F-boy thing. I think we already, like, that was in what? No one really condones that, but we don't condone that on this channel. But I do like it when they talk. I like it when he like just talks his mess and whatever else on like the songs and just the the production just sounds cool. But I think I like that with R&B or with singers who when they can basically like flow, like how Jhené Aiko does that, because she says she has like an alter ego, like when she raps, called Jay Hennessy or Jay Henny or whatever. And I think like Brent Faiyaz has that kind of vibe though too, but I think I like Clouded just because of that, because it's a different sound than some of his other tracks on there. But that wraps up my portion of the music segment. Any other projects that just came out that we could probably highlight?
I'm trying to think. So we have Brent Faiyaz music just came out. I don't really know of anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else before we wrap.
There is an album. There is something that's supposed to come out soon, I think.
Mac Miller came out though too a little bit earlier this year. Really good. I think it is Swimming. I like Mac Miller's
And then one thing.
Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, rest in peace to Mac. Another thing that I'm very excited about. April 3rd, Thundercats album. It is what it is. It's coming out. I'm so excited about it. Only one track is out right now. It's called Dragon Ball Do-Rag.
Yeah,
and
listen to that.
Yeah, but I'm excited for that one to come out. So yeah, that wraps it up. Alright, so for our art segment, we as you guys already know, we shout out different artists. Anybody that does any type of art, doesn't even matter. Whenever we see them, we want to give them a shout out. So here you go. Do you want to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, so I was on Twitter and I came across somebody, her name is Lux K. She's actually another nail technician, but she also does artwork too. So I think I saw one of her pieces and it was performed on someone's nails. I'll show you when I find it. But you could follow her. She's based out of Brooklyn. So my Brooklyn friends that want to go to a nail salon out there, her name is Lux K, and I'll include that in the description box below. But I think I had put it in.
We can actually, oh, that was you that posted
that.
I like that picture. Okay.
It's really nice. She, if you guys could see it, we'll put her stuff.
Yeah, we'll have another clip on the side that you can.
Yeah. But definitely follow her. For my friends out in Brooklyn, check out her salon. I just thought her nail art was cool. But actually what initially drew me was the photo that she actually painted and then she put it on the person's nails. But her stuff was really nice.
So that was her painting?
Yeah, she does paint.
Amazing, okay.
Her Instagram does include like some sketches and some actual paintings that she's done. So that's why I wanted to include her. But she also does, in addition to nail, she's a nail artist as well. So an artist, nail artist.
Perfect. Yeah.
Well, what about you?
For me, I actually wanted to give a shout out to, you guys probably already know her as well. Her name is Maya Washington. She goes by Maya's World on Instagram. And
Shameless Maya.
Shameless? No, yeah. Maya's World on Instagram, but I think Shameless Maya is on YouTube. Yeah. I think she became famous whenever she did she did have like a Shameless Maya thing where she had like really beautiful like full curly hair, and she shaved it all off.
Oh yeah.
And I think that was like where her channel took off.
Like living shamelessly.
Yeah. But I think that was like, it's been quite some time. It's probably been like 7 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give her a shout out because she's like an amazing artist. She's great at photography. She's really good at like making videography as well, putting videos together, just any type of like visual, whether it's pictures or video, whatever. She's just really good at putting it all together. So
she's a multifaceted artist.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll we'll have a photo of her feet as well. But yeah, she's great, and she's definitely an inspiration to me as well, and something that I look up to because she's just very, very dedicated. She works really, really hard, and you can tell it shows in her project. So yeah, I just wanted to give her a shout out. Again, her name is Maya Washington, M-A-Y-A Washington. And her name on Instagram is Maya's World. And we'll leave, of course, all her details in the description box below, as well as Lux K.
As you guys already know, we're huge foodies, so we wanted to include a local restaurant that we've been enjoying nowadays. So Tanita, why don't you start this off?
So there's one restaurant that is, I believe it's in Hollywood. It's called Joan's on 3rd. So good. It's kind of like the healthier spot. They do all kinds of things. They do sweets, like they have a bakery, but then they also do like hearty meals and stuff like that. The thing I always get there is the salad trio. They have like every day they have like different I guess sides, I guess you could say, that they put together, and you can pick out of all of those sides, put 3 of them together, and it's like a little trio that you can order. And it's funny because it's 30 minutes from my job, the drive, but it's so good. I will go during my break and go get it for lunch.
Really?
Yeah, I will go drive 30 minutes and come back. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's always better if there's multiple people in the company who want to eat it, because then you don't feel so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joan's on 3rd, definitely my recommendation. Yeah, what about you?
So mine is Burrito Break. I love burritos, especially for the past 3 years or so. But I go to a place in downtown LA, like on my way to the office or something. It's only $2 per burrito, but they're very specialized, and you know burritos are like overpriced. But these aren't like these huge, massive burritos where you it's like $7. Where I mean, you're getting your money's worth for $2 per burrito, but they're a good, decent size. But they're a cute little like upcoming burrito stands, but to market them for only $2 in this city that is very known for burritos, or just like in California, that's they do really well. Like they're a small
I
little
feel like a
stand.
regular burrito is like $6-7
It is.
just to start off.
And I would eat those if I forget my breakfast in the morning. And too many burritos after a while, you could start to see that. You could start to see that. But I love Burrito Break. I want to give them a shout out, because if you're ever in downtown LA, that's the only place I know of. They're only $2 per burrito. I mean, like you said, they're $7 worth. You can get like 2 or 3 for people, your friends, or whoever it could be, but they have different flavors. I usually get the vegan one, the soy chorizo and potatoes. Tastes so good with spicy salsa. They have a regular chorizo one. They have stuff with different toppings, stuff that has like
do you personalize it, or is it already?
It's already pre-made though. I think that is the thing, is because the whole point of Burrito Break is to quickly grab your burrito on the go. But if it's $2, they're in downtown LA, so they're on 7th and Figueroa. So they're near, if you guys are familiar with downtown, they're going to be near the 7th Fig. But I highly suggest it. It's a small little burrito stand, but they have lunch specials there too. But for them to be $2, worth my money. I go there at least every Friday, and sometimes I go if I just forget my breakfast at home or something, but I always look forward to it. I can't handle 2 burritos. I have my appetite's just decreasing, so 1 is enough for me, but it's so savory and so good.
Yeah, okay.
So check out those places.
Try that.
So we're gonna go right into the finessing tip. I'm actually gonna lead in on this one. It's an app, it's free, but it's called the Citizen app. Have you heard of the Citizen app?
I have it on my phone as well.
Yeah.
My boss actually told me about it.
Oh yeah, of the importance of having that. It doesn't matter where you live. I just highly suggest having that so you're always staying alert. If you guys don't know, the Citizen app kind of puts alerts that are nearby you of anything that could be going on regarding your safety. Whether that's like crime, could be maybe like hazardous materials, things like that. Yes.
Anything like
accidents. Yeah, accidents like shit's sad. So I think it's always best to have that, because I'm not going to go into detail, but I had one of my best friends, Mondi, come visit me there, and she was supposed to be there that night too, but basically there's an incident that happened. I don't want to get into details about it, I could go on. But the alert had went off, and it didn't go off on my phone because I turned off the notifications, but something I think you guys should turn them off, but still check the app. But had we not had the app, we wouldn't have known we physically saw what happened, but we didn't realize that event that Citizen was reporting was where Monty and I were at in my old neighborhood. So I think for safety's sake, it doesn't matter if you're in the safest neighborhood, or if not, safety is compromised anywhere that you're at. So please download the Citizen app. It's free. You want to always want to make sure that keep hold of your alerts on there, but turn off the notifications because you don't want to make yourself anxious over that. My cousin from Brooklyn had told me to download the app just because I tell her some crazy stories, but she just said, I'd turn off the notifications just in case. I'm glad I do because,
it would drive you crazy. It makes you not want to leave your house.
Exactly, but it doesn't hurt to just stay cautious and stay safe, but just turn off the notifications and check them when it's applicable, but still check them. Just,
I think it's always helpful to check it like when you go out at night.
That's true. When you're in a bigger city, you're exposed to everything, and you just never really know.
Exactly.
Like we just said, what happened in Beverly Hills, and that's like a nice area, but there's still like some safety concerns.
It happens all the time.
Anywhere. So please just download that app. It's free. The news stuff that you're getting on there isn't enough because this app pulls up things that are even like 10, 15 miles. Well, I think you just specify however close you want it. I want my stuff locally, no matter where I'm at. So even if I were to leave here, I turn on the app, I can know what's going on in the surrounding streets. But you guys download the Citizen app. It will really be helpful for your safety moving forward.
Alright guys, thank you so much for listening or watching the 4th episode of the Infinite Finesse Podcast with Tanita
and Cece. And you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, so many different platforms, but we're going to include all of them on the description box below. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so.
Invest in your soul, finesse your goal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you. See you next time.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.